Hey, what's up, everybody? Back again. This time, gonna change it up. Little cutty fly. So my plan is to do a series of flies and call it flies that actually catch fish. Um, Basically, a variety of kind of woolly bugger inspired sculpin bait fish flies. We'll cover lightly weighted, a little bit heavier weighted, and different body styles, as well as tying on a conventional hook. This is on a B10S size 8. We'll also do some jigged, not necessarily meant for nymphing. You can also strip jig hooks just fine, and they work really well in the local fishery we have here, especially for little grubby crustacean kind of random bug type bugs. So here we go. So this is what we're gonna do today. Very, very, very simple fly. 3 or 4 materials. Endless variation. Each video I do there'll be a variation, whether color, body material, hackle, whatever. We'll change it up. Offer a different variety of flies. Okay, let's get going. So first, B10S hook. This is a size 8, and I'm using Veevus thread. It's 10 or 12 aught. I lost a little tab, but it's olive. I wouldn't get too caught up with the thread color. Black would work fine. White, dark brown, any color like that. You're just going to see the head basically. So just getting it started. Oh, should have cut these beforehand. Medium bead chain eyes is what I'm putting on. I have 2 kinds. I have the matte ones. I think they're kind of carp focused, Chacon stealth beads. These are just regular, kind of shiny. I think they use them for pulls for fans or lights or whatever. These are glossy, size medium. I think they're 3.8 mil, something like that. I'm gonna tie these on just behind the eye. I want a little bit of space, maybe an eye, hook eye length back would be a decent description. So just gonna figure 8 them in. I'm not overly concerned about whether these will twist or not. Sometimes on these smaller flies, lighter eyes, they're not going to invert anyways. This may not invert. Also, small dumbbells, brass or even lead, really good option. We'll get to that later video. So a little bit of crazy glue, and I'm going to work my thread to the back. I always try to do a thread base, but I really can't see how it'll make any difference at all with this fly. So next, Grizzly marabou, chicaboo I guess in this case, long wispy feather ends. I take 2, and I'm basically gonna match them tip for tip with the darker side outside and roughly the length of the fly for the tail, but I don't want to trap a bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna actually just preen these back a bit, so I'm just left with the tips. You can even wet them. You can put the whole thing in your mouth. I lick my fingers and it mats it down, makes it much easier. Okay, so we go that much for the tail. I'm gonna transfer, pinch, couple of tight wraps, and I put it on the top of the hook. Now we can trim. So I'm gonna do another hackle before the eyes. So I'm gonna put my scissors kind of just before the eyes, lay this down, get rid of the waste. Big open loop wraps to kind of gather all the marabou there, and then going back, I'll take my time, do a little bit neater, and this will help with a nice consistent body, but honestly it doesn't really matter. I think shaggy is going to be better in this case. So next material is a dubbed body, but before we do the dubbed body, just a point. You could put flash on the back here, especially on something this small. One single strand of flashabou on the center. Each side looks nice. Crystal flash is fine. Rubber legs you could throw on here if you wanted. Yeah, for myself, this size Grizzly marabou by itself is great. And then we're using some Arizona simi-seal dark olive for the body. Again, variation is endless. You could change the color up. You don't even have to do green, obviously. Tan, natural, black, anything. We're just using green. There's a little bit of kind of bronze and green flash mixed in with this. I think that's plenty of flash for a fly like this. And again, you could go very tight, narrow dubbed body. You can go shaggier. You could do both. This would be a really good dragonfly imitation as well. A nymph, obviously not the adult. Very buggy. So quick and dirty. I'm going to dub not quite to the eyes, but basically just right behind the eyes. Sometimes it's hard to dub these coarse dubs. It helps a lot, I find, if you lick your fingers, or some people, I guess, have a damp sponge because everything causes cancer, but maybe I'll eat my words one day. I just lick my fingers. So, I don't know if it shows up super well there, but I'm like a scissor gap behind the eye there. Just enough room to tie in a hackle. I'm using a whiting wet fly, soft hackle. This one's like a dark olive gray grizzly. You could just use a straight up hen hackle here as well. It's not fancy, not meant to be complicated, but I think you'd be hard pressed to find a fish that wouldn't eat this. So just gonna rough and dirty fold it back. And just making sure the wraps go in front of one another. Ooh, twisted up on me. And you can do as much or as little as you like. I'm going to use most of this feather. Okay, and then I'm going to take the stem and throw it towards the front. So I got hackle going everywhere, not really a big deal right now. And I will tie the stem off at the front of the fly. If you want to get crazy, you can fold the stem back, but I'm not super worried about it. And then all the hackle fibers that are all crazy and everywhere, just pull them back and wrap just in front of them. It's going to kind of collect them. The odd one here and there, it doesn't matter. Cut them off. Alright, so you could just fish that. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. You can just see this little bit at the head here that's just thread. I don't like that. I don't know why, because I guess I'm a fly tire and I can fix it. So going back to the simi-seal, and again, you could do it thin and tight here, or you can make it shaggier. I think shaggier kind of adds to the look of the fly, but I'm going to go a couple wraps in front of the hackle, and then I'm going to actually go right through the eyes, just like we're tying them in again. Couple wraps, and in the front. Pull everything back. little thread base right at the front. If you wanted, you could put some super glue on your thread. I don't really have a problem with flies falling apart, so I'm not super worried about it. Doing a whip finish here. If you want to too, why not? I think people go a little crazy with their whip finishes sometimes. I can't recall one that's come out. Usually I will lose a fly or switch flies before they fall apart. And that's it. Basically a woolly bugger, a variation of a woolly bugger. It's going to be effective. Little baby sculpins in the shallows if you're fishing on the beach. Generic bait fish, right? When the fry are going, this will work for the first little while. I would probably change it to natural over olive, but olive also actually works. And then if you want, we can kind of shag it up a bit. So we're going to just take some Velcro. There you go. Ugly buggy. Guaranteed will catch fish. Thanks for watching.